Franz Joseph I, German, Franz Joseph I von Österreich, born on August 18, 1830, in Schönbrunn Palace, Vienna, was one of the longest reigning monarchs in European history. As Emperor of Austria, 1848–1916, King of Hungary, from 1867, and ruler of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, he presided over a transformative and turbulent period in Central European history. His life was marked by personal tragedies, military defeats, and the challenge of governing a multi-ethnic empire in a time of nationalism and upheaval. Early life and rise to power. Franz Joseph was born into the House of Habsburg-Lorraine, a dynastic family with centuries of imperial legacy. His father was Archduke Franz Karl of Austria, and his mother was Princess Sophie of Bavaria, a politically ambitious woman who played a crucial role in shaping her son's future. From an early age, Franz Joseph was groomed for leadership. He received a strict military and religious education, and his mother ensured he was kept away from court politics while instilling in him a strong sense of duty and conservatism. At just 18 years old, Franz Joseph ascended the throne in December 1848 after the abdication of his uncle, Emperor Ferdinand I, during the revolutions that swept across Europe. His rise was orchestrated by his mother and influential statesman Prince Felix of Schwarzenberg, who believed a young, strong monarch could stabilize the empire amidst growing unrest. Early reign and the revolutions of 1848–1849. Franz Joseph began his reign during the revolutionary wave of 1848–49, a period that saw nationalist and liberal uprisings across the empire. He opposed these movements with an iron hand, reaffirming absolutist rule. With military support from Russia, he crushed the Hungarian Revolution of 1848–49, leading to a period of centralization and repression. His early reign was characterized by his belief in divine monarchy and the suppression of democratic aspirations. Personal life and marriage. In 1854, Franz Joseph married his cousin, Duchess Elizabeth of Bavaria, better known as Sissi. The union, though politically advantageous, was marred by tension. Sissi found court life stifling and suffered from mental and physical ailments. Despite being admired by the public for her beauty and charisma, she spent much of her time away from Vienna, often traveling across Europe. Their relationship was strained, and the emperor's stern disposition contrasted with her free spirit. The marriage produced 4 children, most notably Crown Prince Rudolf. However, tragedy struck in 1889 when Rudolf died in a suicide pact with his lover Baroness Mary Wetzera at Mayerling, a scandal that deeply affected the emperor and marked a turning point in his personal life. Foreign policy and military defeats. Franz Joseph's reign was shaped by a series of military defeats that weakened Austria's influence in Europe. In 1859, Austria lost Lombardy to Sardinia during the Second Italian War of Independence, aided by Napoleon III. This defeat marked the beginning of Austria's decline as a dominant European power. In 1866, Austria faced another humiliating loss at the hands of Prussia in the Austro-Prussian War, 7 Weeks' War. The defeat at the Battle of Königgrätz resulted in Austria's exclusion from German affairs and the dissolution of the German Confederation. These losses forced Franz Joseph to reconsider the structure of his empire, culminating in the Ausgleich Compromise of 1867, which created the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Hungary was granted equal status with Austria, and Franz Joseph became dual monarch Emperor of Austria and King of Hungary. This move helped appease Hungarian nationalists but did little to address tensions among other ethnic groups. Domestic rule and challenges. Franz Joseph ruled over a multi-ethnic empire that included Germans, Hungarians, Czechs, Slovaks, Poles, Ukrainians, Romanians, Croats, Serbs, Italians, and others. Nationalism grew steadily throughout his reign, challenging the unity of the empire. He often relied on bureaucracy, military power, and conservative alliances to maintain control. Despite his conservative nature, Franz Joseph presided over a period of modernization and industrialization. Railways expanded, cities grew, and the empire became more economically interconnected. However, his resistance to federalism and political reform meant that ethnic and social tensions continued to simmer beneath the surface. Later years and personal tragedies. The latter part of Franz Joseph's life was marked by personal and national tragedies. In 1898, his wife Empress Elizabeth was assassinated in Geneva by an Italian anarchist. Just years later, in 1914, his nephew and heir presumptive, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, was assassinated in Sarajevo by Gavrilo Princip, a Bosnian Serb nationalist. This assassination triggered the First World War, as Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, leading to a chain reaction of alliances and hostilities across Europe. Though Franz Joseph was reluctant about the war, he felt compelled to defend the monarchy's honor and sovereignty. He did not live to see the end of the conflict that would destroy his empire. Death and legacy. Franz Joseph died on November 21, 1916, at the age of 86, after 68 years on the throne. His death marked the end of an era. His grandnephew, Karl I, succeeded him but could not save the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which disintegrated in 1918 following defeat in World War I. Franz Joseph is remembered as a symbol of imperial authority and stoic leadership. He was deeply conservative, devoted to duty, and resistant to change, yet he reigned during one of the most dynamic periods of European history. His legacy is a complex one. On the one hand, he held together a vast and diverse empire for decades, on the other, his rigidity and inability to adapt to the modern world hastened its downfall.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel.